Okay, Innovation Lab, the startup generation, reinventing water consumption. Good afternoon. I am the editor-in-chief of EMBALLAGES magazine. My name is Henri SAPORTA. For the second discussion, we have as a topic reinventing water consumption. After the Camembert 4.0 yesterday, how can we imagine a new way to consume water? I have two entrepreneurs who set up a startup a few years back. I am Marc, JOUSSE, and Romain LEFEVRE. And today we got to see that it's possible to imagine alternatives to the bottle and possibly contemplating a new way to hydrate. Who is Marc? Who is Romain? What's your background? Well, good morning. My name is Romain LEFEVRE. I am a grad of the Art et Métiers School, and afterwards I went to work for LVMH as an industrial project manager before launching on this project and setting up the company. Marc, JOUSSE, like Romain, we met at the engineering school, Art et Métiers. I've been knowing him since 2010. 6 years ago we met, and afterwards I had a year at ESSEC school in Singapore, and coming back we met again and decided to float JOUSSE. Right now, when you've got an engineering profile and what are the knowledge required when you get into packaging? Beforehand, you knew that a bottle of water and a tray containing ham was a packaging. Well, at Arts et Métiers, it is not our focus on packaging. We got an engineering training, of course, that we're looking into materials, procedures, processing of materials. And personally, my third year was spent in product development, and packaging was a sector which is exciting. I thought we had a lot of stuff to do, and the vision of a young person could provide a plus point to an innovative industry. So you got a product development method to control the processing of the materials and to industrialize it. Romain, you want to say something? Yes, indeed, our goal. Initially, we did not talk about our project in detail. We're going to get there. I'm interested in the design from A to Z, down to production and marketing of the product. The issue is you have training programs for packaging courses. You went to the engineering school in Arts et Métiers, but you have thought that you could bring something to the party. Exactly, as you said, it's a training which is generalist, general purpose. We're gonna study a lot of themes, but we were not afraid to tackle packaging and agribusiness. It was one of our strengths initially. Now, when you study, you can also work out and do sports. So basically, you like jogging, and you had an idea. What is your project all about, sir? Well, basically, in 2012, 2013, we were part of the people starting to jog, and right away with among friends, we decided to take part in semi-marathon races, and we had a new slant on this event. Well, you need to we had to work out, and get into shape. So we had a new look at this. We were struck by the way in which nutrition was handled during the events. If you take a marathon, every 5 kilometers, you're going to get a water bottle. You're going to feed yourself, and you're going to throw away a cup or a plastic bottle, and you will waste a lot of water because you cannot run with a cup of water, and you got to throw away the rest of the water when you are jogging. We've seen the images of athletes or cyclists running, getting a bottle or cup, drinking on the run, so to speak. and you waste a lot of water. That's what struck you when you started jogging. We were aware of the waste of water in terms of plastics, in terms of water. During a lot of races, that's why we started to develop adapted to the runners and to the organizers. That's where you had the idea of a new gesture, not to waste water, and finding a more efficient way to provide water to the athletes and the runners. Can we get into the nitty-gritty of the project and explain where you are now? JOUSSE is a company. What's your job, your industry? We have several occupations. Our goal is to continue R&D efforts in the field of liquid. We encapsulate in an edible membrane water or liquid. We're not talking about micro-encapsulation. It's a sphere. It's a big sphere. A football. It's just a drink of water. What is the right drink of water for an athlete? Is it in centiliters, millimeters, 20 milliliters? What's an edible dose? We're going to see it on the screen. What is it? Well, our purpose is to be able to encapsulate liquids and gels. Here's an example. You have a liquid or gel around it. You have a membrane which will make it possible to swallow. This membrane looks like a medical tablet. Yeah, on this type of capsule, we have a soft capsule. Our goal is to have a product which is, hydrating and nourishing you. The membrane should be useful. Using sports is because it must be efficient. You cannot ask an athlete to eat a membrane without having something in it. So we want to have a product which is nourishing and hydrating the waters inside, and the membrane has nourishing or nutritional principles. You see, in sports, for example, we've been working with an athlete who had a history which we liked. It was somebody who was 35 years of age who could never properly hydrate when running in a marathon. So the gel is a product you have in a small plastic tube, which you're going to eat regularly. We liked her experience because we gave her spheres in which she would have the isotonic drinks in the gel to be taken every 5 miles. Exactly. What we like is you take water, but you're able also to have the right dose at the right time. And working on added value product, we're going to take an isotonic drink or the gel for nutritional purposes, which could be a product which is at a borderline between nourishment and hydration. It's an innovative and daring approach. You're contacting brands and developments. These are strategic developments for new brands and brands. You won't tell me with whom you work.
Un peu des personnes avec qui on travaille, mais aujourd'hui.
Today, in sports, our goal was to find a compromise, a trade-off. You were talking about packagings. You talked about gelatin. We wanted to find a compromise between organoleptic and mechanical resistance, which is very important. It was a lot of work to have something which was satisfactory. Now, we're expanding into other sectors of activities in the field of encapsulation of all types of drinks. We're working for the pharmaceutical industries, for young people or senior people. You have all the markets ahead of you. You have no biases. No, we're going to tackle every market where you have liquid, starting with sports. That was your insight. Now, what about mechanization? JOUSSE has two jobs: developing the content and the way you implement it. In packaging, the edible packaging, it's something which is qualified as something which is an alternative to packaging, and that might replace the packaging, but packaging must be clean, so the edible packaging must be packaged. What is the answer you brought to bear on this issue? Is your dose, moisturizing dose, packaged or made on-site based on the events with a dedicated machine? Well, how can you tackle the field of packaging? Edible packaging is a buzzword. We created a food containing a liquid. In sports, our vision was as follows, namely, tomorrow, if you want the product to be as efficient as possible, you got to reinvent the distribution service. You have high ambitions, gentlemen. Yes, if you take the example of sports, in a marathon race, you want to be able to provide new delivery systems every 5 kilometers. You've got a WISE-PACK equipment to deliver doses to runners in real time. And it's a sure and efficient product. Yeah, we want to control the product from the plan to the racing event. Our goal is to control the whole supply chain from A to Z. If you want to resolve the issue of handling to avoid, the bottle being thrown away, or it must be very natural and very quick. Exactly. We're working on a concept of distribution station, like the service filling station of the marathon runner. Yes, people will say, I need 3-4 drinks of water. Why not? We're working on this, on the athlete experience on the edge of the road. Sporting events are very important for brands. It's a driver for the values of health for a given brand. Some brands don't want possibly to get this market away from. We have other marketing drivers. You may have areas dedicated to a company. You have other means of channeling the brand values. At what stage are you at? We have now, we're going to have 2 types of business formulation. First, we're going to have the formula based on the specifications of our customers in a lab, and we have an industrial part. As you know, we set up shop in Milan. In the summer, our purpose is start producing and packaging. Now you're supporting R&D. So you have no technical problems. Exactly, where we are supported by organizations, and we could levy funds. What do you have in Milan? Well, we get some financial aid. Vitagora helped us find this place at a real low price. Any timetable for marketing or selling? Depending on the partners we have. Oh, I see. Well, depending on people who believe in us, our goal is to offer the first product a year away, a year from now. So you've got a very tight schedule. Now, we've seen your project. I'd like to see what is your record as an entrepreneur. You're quite young. How did you start a project when you're 27 years old? And how do you hydrate? Because people are drinking water every day. So, what is the new approach? I met you in a jury at Agro Park last year. I was struck by the quality of your presentation and by the way you presented your project, and getting across to a jury who did not know you the value of your project and its reliability. It was a jury. Well, the jury thought that your project was great. Well, initially, we had the right people. initially want to have like mentors who were experienced in the agribusiness field and convincing them to help us to develop the project. In other words, you took time to formalize your idea, your concept. I guess between the time we said, okay, let's get going and let's start from scratch, and the time we have a company, well, it takes some time. And with Romain, very quickly decided to look for people who were experienced. That's why we took part in contests or competitions. I understood you were also marathon runners in terms of contests in order to be subject to criticism. It is true, we wanted really to make a pitch, and the agri-park contest was interesting because you could make a pitch before the packaging industry, and to see how the specialists responded to our project. It was mandatory to come and talk to industrialists. When you got the award, you went to the evening, you attended the evening, bring together 250 people, 230 people last night. Did it help you? Did you get to talk to professionals? Give me names. It was a great evening. We talked to Multivac, Mr. Charrois, Mr. Beauplat, helping us in developing our project. Multivac is a company which is similar to your activity. We're working with the blister packaging to add value to our products. You have great synergy with this company. Taking part in a contest means you can take part in sharing insights or changing tack if necessary. The idea was first to reassure oneself. People also believe in your project, but also we wanted to take part in different competitions like Oscar de l'Emballage. What do you need in terms of finance to develop your project? What do you need financially speaking? Well, it is true. You said that you had different stages. The Oscar de l'Emballage is a milestone for us. We talked about the sporting markets when we met the Multivac company. A lot of players we went to meet. It opened our eyes. We decided to look at other industries and to say that the moisturizing, hydrating dose could be used by a lot of people. Exactly. And we take advantage of their experience. Let me show you an image. When you set up a startup, it's a marathon. Why you're tying up your shoelaces? Is it true? Because you're a runner. You got to be versatile. You got to be brave and versatile, or you got to be unconscious, unaware of the problems. When you set up a company, we were only two. You got to be a jack of all trades. You understand now how many you are? Five people in the company, and at times, it's a problem because of the long weekends and holidays. Let us wrap up this exchange. You're now experienced. What advice would you give to young entrepreneurs based on what people say about the company in French? Should you define your project first and compare it with other opinions, and not being certain of what there's not much advice to give? You gotta get going. Your approach is very specific to yours. We are following our values and insights. and you should present this project to a lot of people. You got to challenge your project, of course, exactly. You got to change tack when you are making mistakes. Did you change tack? You talked about hydration, and now you're extending your horizons. Marc, yes, well, I guess first piece of advice is to listen a lot. We're quite fortunate in industry we have people who will listen to you and will provide their experience in the world of packaging. We have very experienced, very seasoned companies in France ready to open their doors, ready to give you a lot of advice. I guess listening is key, and of course picking packaging industry to float a company was the right choice. Great for ALL4PACK. Do you have a website? Do you have a website? As yet, yes, we have a website. It's not your priority. Thank you both. Okay, I wish you Godspeed and thank you. Let's hope we discover your products at the next event. Now let's meet tomorrow for the third show devoted to a new way to contemplate the supply chain. Thank you all, and see you later. Thank you both.